All right, this is our last chapter that is on our Seis Preguntas assessment. So, April 22nd, 1945. Okay, remember last chapter, a transport came in to Terrazin, and all the people that were on there were really skinny. They had rotted teeth. They were all shaved bald. Men and women were coming. We learned a little bit about, we can infer that Gustav might be dead. Misha does not recognize the one girl that he had a crush on. So then they start feeding people. Okay. So it's only been about 2 days since our last chapter. April 22nd, 1945. Ow! Kinkina shouts, but I can barely hear him over the rain, which sounds like it's attacking the ground. What? I ask loudly, and then something hits me, too. Ow! What is that? It's hailing, Tommy screams. Come on, hurry up. We push the wagon quickly towards the Dresden courtyard and hide under the entranceway. For a short while, these barracks were my home, but not anymore, because Dresden is one of the quarantine buildings now, packed with people who arrived 2 days ago. Ooh, quarantine. We all know what that word means now. Plus a ton more who arrived on foot earlier today. I heard they walked all the way from Poland, from the other camps there, from Birkenau and places I have never even heard about before, Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen. I guess the Soviets finally reached those camps. So the Germans closed them down and sent the prisoners back in our direction. Most of them were wearing these horrible wooden shoes. And when I saw one of them remove when I saw his feet, I made up some excuse that I had to go back to the bakery. When I got there, I spent a few minutes in this little storage space so no one could see me. The hail bounces off the pavement, and the noise echoes ferociously off the cement all around us. We stand there, not talking, because we wouldn't hear one another anyway. A little gust blows past, and I get a nice whiff of the potatoes. We've been making deliveries for around 48 hours, but most people still grab their pieces like they've never even seen food before. Every time we return to the bakery, there are more volunteers helping out, peeling potatoes, grating potatoes, delivering potatoes. But we still can't keep up, not even close. A few minutes later, the rain dies down a little, so we each grab a tray and hurry inside. Thank you, a woman with pale green eyes says to me in Czech as I hand her the last piece of my tray. You're welcome, I say. It looks like she's about to say something else, but she just takes a bite instead. She chews slowly, and after she swallows, she almost looks like a normal person. A terribly thin, extremely weak person, but a real person, not a skeleton. So I ask her the question I've been meaning to ask every one of these people that we've been feeding for the last 2 days. Where were you? I ask. She takes another bite and swallows. Auschwitz, she says. But I thought, I say, checking to see where Kinkina and Tommy are. I thought the transports went to Birkenau. Same thing, she says. But, so, I start to say, not sure what I want to ask. What was there? What happened? She keeps chewing slowly, ignoring me. So I ask her another question, one that started bothering me yesterday afternoon. And why didn't any kids or old people come back with you? What happened to them? Gas, she says. Picks up a bite of potato that landed on her forearm, not far from a spot where 6 black numbers are written across her skin. And then, she swallows, up the chimney. What? I lean in closer. What does that even mean? But all she does is reach her bony hand out to me and run her finger down my cheek. It gives me chills, but I let her do it a few times anyway. Many hours later, the three of us are pushing the wagon through some puddles when Kinkina and I break the silence at almost the same time. Did you guys? He starts saying. Hey, what does up the chimney mean? I ask. What? Tommy says. Some woman, I said, back in Dresden. She said that sometimes she said something about people going up a chimney. Kinkina nods his head. I heard my mother say the same thing yesterday, but she stops talking when she saw me. And gas, Tommy said. I kept hearing people talk about gas. Now we're just standing beyond the wagon in the middle of the ghetto. This woman, I said, she said gas and then the chimney. For some reason, I think of Mother. Everyone has been working so hard. The second we lie down for the night, we're out cold. So I haven't talked to her in almost 2 days, which normally would be fine because a lot of the time, ever since I started working at the bakery, actually, I like being on my own. But right now, I wouldn't mind if she just showed up all of a sudden. And have you noticed, I said to the guys, no old people and no kids either. Inca, who's a couple of years older than us, she's probably the youngest person I've seen. Though it's pretty hard to tell, Tommy says. No, but he's right, Kinkina says. I haven't seen anyone younger than us. I'm sure of it. Tommy starts pushing the wagon, and soon we're passing by a row of trees with new leaves on them. Does that mean, Kinkina says, that Felix and Gorilla and Leo and everyone? Well, does that mean and Franta, I said. What about him? He's older, Tommy says, so maybe, right? And Pumlina and Grizzly and Eli, and we push the wagon in silence for a while. Gas, then chimney, I say, trying to picture something in my head, but I don't see anything. I just feel a dark, heavy lump in the middle of my chest. No, no, no way, Kinkina says. No way, not even the Nazis would. What do you mean, no way? I say, almost shouting. Have you looked at those people? The ones who've been eating our potatoes like they've never even eaten a meal in their entire life? Have you? Come on. Anyone who would do that to all those people, who would let them wind up like this, who would just stick them in cars meant for coal and make them walk as far as they've walked, what wouldn't they do? Think about it. No one talks the rest of the way to the bakery. Wonderful news, Mr. Hertz says when we get back in, a giant grin on his face. We look at him like we just arrived from another planet. Red Cross, not Nazis, in charge. What? We all ask. Nazis, they. He makes a motion with both hands. Soon they give it, Terrazin, to new man in charge. Dunant, Red Cross, Swiss man. I don't believe you, Kinkina says. It's not true. True, true, Mr. Hertz says. Not Rom, not Germans. What do you mean? Tommy asks. Are the Germans just gone? Can we leave? Is it over? No, no, not over, Mr. Ertz says. Not so much yet. Soon, soon. You're lying, Kinkina says. Mr. Ertz turns around and walks towards the ovens. He pulls out a couple trays of potatoes and places in our wagon. Don't believe? He shrugs his shoulders. Okay, don't. Bring potatoes instead. People still very hungry. Go, go, go. Right, make sure we're taking notes.